Hello guys, welcome to our channel Techzen. Every couple of years, Musk gets in front of the audience to talk about the latest developments, plans, design changes, and all sorts of fascinating inside views as to what's happened and what's going to happen next. Cameron County, Texas is where SpaceX is currently working on the Starship launch system. CEO Elon Musk on Thursday gave a speech for building a vehicle that he believes represents the holy grail of space travel. Whenever he holds such an official event, SpaceX makes very sure to present their latest progress to the public, as these events are not just essential for us space fans. They're also a big event for stakeholders, investors, and current and future industry partners. So SpaceX went all hands on deck again to set the scenery for Musk and his vision of a multi-planetary future for humanity. The past year saw a historic breakthrough in private human spaceflight for multiple companies, including SpaceX, but the opinion of billionaires joyriding in rockets portrayed widespread public disparagement. Musk opened his presentation with a defense on the value of space transportation, calling it necessary for establishing security for life itself and having an exciting future and inspiring kids about the future. According to Musk, one of the rebuttals I will sometimes hear is, what about all the problems on Earth? Musk said, I completely agree that the vast majority of resources should be dedicated to solving problems on Earth. He said more than 99% of our resources should be focused on terrestrial challenges, but maybe 0.5% should be space-focused. Starship is the nearly 400-foot tall rocket that SpaceX has been developing, intending to create a vehicle that can carry cargo and groups of people beyond Earth. Musk presented the rocket as crucial to establishing a human presence on other planetary bodies such as the Moon and Mars. Adding to that notion that space travel is frivolous, Musk stated that going to Mars will be extremely difficult, dangerous, and tough, and that it will be far from being some sort of escape hatch. Although public support for the development of Starship may appear to be unnecessary, it is crucial to the future Musk envisions for SpaceX. While the private venture raises billions from investors, SpaceX has won several taxpayer-funded contracts for Starship, and the company needs approval from federal regulators to launch in earnest from its facility on the southernmost part of Texas' Gulf Coast. What about efficiency? According to Musk, the cost efficiency of SpaceX is the best in history, I think, for any rocket development. We are talking about a rocket that's more than twice the mass and thrust of a Saturn V, the rocket that launched the Apollo Moon missions. And is also designed to be fully reusable. The development cost is between 5 to 10% of the Saturn V. From an environmental standpoint, Musk added, obviously it is also much better to build a fully reusable vehicle since rockets are traditionally discarded after each launch. By landing the most expensive part of the rocket and reusing it multiple times, SpaceX has steadily reduced the cost of its current fleet of Falcon 9 rockets to below $30 million per launch. But even though Starship is many times larger and expected to have a multi-billion-dollar development cost, the next-generation rocket, according to Musk, will be far less expensive per launch. I'm highly confident it will be less than $10 million, Musk said. The key to that cost efficiency is Starship's projected capability in the amount of mass to orbit each launch can carry, paired with SpaceX's goal of fully reusing each rocket and booster in a way Musk compares to commercial air travel. Regulatory approval. SpaceX has completed multiple high-altitude flight tests with Starship prototypes, but its next major step is to reach space. While the goal was supposed to be met last year, development has slowed and the orbital test flight is still awaiting regulatory approval. The Federal Aviation Administration must grant SpaceX a license, and the regulator expects to complete a key environmental assessment in a month or so. Might be a few bumps along the road, but I feel at this point highly confident that we'll get to orbit this year, Musk said. The development of Starship's second generation of Raptor engines is the company's biggest technical challenge right now, which powers the rocket and its booster. 7 Raptor engines are required for each Starship, and 33 Raptor engines are required for each Super Heavy booster. A crisis in Raptor engine development late last year led to the departure of a SpaceX executive. Musk said Thursday that Raptor is the problem I'm spending the most time personally working on, alongside the development of full self-driving at Tesla. The Raptor 2 engines represent an almost complete redesign compared with the first generation, Musk said, but are significantly simplified and more powerful. Raptor 2 also costs half as much to build, he said, and production is ramping up. The company is close to achieving a production rate of a Raptor 2 engine per day, he said. While SpaceX will need to develop Starship's interior and life support systems, which contracts to deliver both NASA astronauts and private passengers to the moon in the next few years, Musk said the company is not focusing a lot on the issue currently. He pointed to SpaceX's experience building life support systems for its Dragon spacecraft, which have flown 18 people safely to low Earth orbit to date. That will be important down the road, but our focus right now is just getting to orbit, Musk said. The future of Starship in Texas. The SpaceX CEO also laid out why the company chose this area in Texas for Starship manufacturing and launches, saying the facility, nicknamed Starbase, required a confluence of factors. Musk emphasized that the location represents a clear path to orbit, given the need to launch eastward to have help from Earth's rotation. It also features a good, clear area that is sparsely populated. That doesn't leave a lot of options. It's here in Texas and Cape Canaveral in Florida, Musk said. SpaceX has resumed construction on the Starship launch pad at NASA's Kennedy Space Center, but Musk said the R&D work on the rocket meant the company didn't want to disrupt the current launch operations in Florida. Additionally, Musk said he thinks Texas has the right amount of rules and regulations for the experimental project. The company's rapid growth in Cameron County has been welcomed by some locals for creating jobs and attracting tourists, but criticized by others for displacing a beachfront community and endangering the wildlife refuge around Starbase. In the early development of Starship, several prototypes failed and were destroyed during testing. The environmental concerns are front and center for Starship's future in Texas, but Musk said he is optimistic that SpaceX will receive approval to move forward. Musk said, "We don't have a ton of insight into where things stand with the FAA. We have gotten sort of a rough indication that they may be approved in March." Furthermore, he added, "I think this is not something that will be harmful to the environment." But SpaceX is considering its path forward if a more in-depth environmental assessment is required. As Musk said, it would set us back for quite some time, with a move to Florida the top alternative. Worst-case scenario is that we would be delayed for 6 to 8 months to build up the Cape launch tower and launch Starship from there, Musk said. In that scenario, Musk said SpaceX would continue advanced R&D work in Texas, such as trying out the new design and new versions of the rocket, but it would use Cape Canaveral as the main base of operations for Starship. Musk did state that infrastructure and technical readiness for a first orbital launch will likely be achieved at the same time as the FAA approval. This, without a doubt, is an incredibly exciting year to look forward to. So that's a wrap for today. Thank you for watching. If you would like to receive updates about more tech-related news, do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more updates. According to your opinion, is Elon Musk capable of transporting cargo and groups of people beyond the Earth's atmosphere? Don't forget to share in the comments section. Thank you for staying with us.